Okay, it's Monday, and like I promised, even though it was a couple days ago, I am bringing you Monday's episode of Clumsy Hippo's Fake Fiction. Uh, the tedium of the minutia of today almost got to me, but sorry, you lose Monday, and I am actually back in the closet, in the studio, Clumsy Hippo Studios, ready with Whispering Chicken Productions to bring you all sorts of bits and bobs. So let's go. Okay, now here's what I've got, because I've got a lot of little things to get going, because I'm having a hard time getting going this week. I don't know. I got the. Hold on, let me get my notes. I've got my doctor's appointment tomorrow. Checkup after my surgery, cancer surgery, and yes, and I have a cancer card. If I advise you to get it if you ever get cancer, because what the hell are they going to say? And you can say fuck off, and what are they going to say? Nothing. Or if they do, they'll look awful for attacking the cancer person. That's not quite the right term, is it? No, cancer patient. Whatever. So anyway, tomorrow I guess I'll find out whether I have to have radiation and chemo treatments, or whether it'll be an option, I should say, because I will not be making a decision tomorrow about that one. All in the spectrum of where that falls, treatment or non-treatment, and keeping an eye on things, which would be better. I will be having to make some other decisions on treatment anyway, such as the eating thing, eating better, and like, oh my God, they keep coming out with more and more bad foods. I mean, I don't know why it's always repeated too. Whoever thought that over-processed foods were good for you? I don't know when that became fashionable, but I've pretty much always known that it wasn't, and been mindful of things that are just pretending to be food. Food flavored. Here's your food flavored pellets. Ooh, that'd be a big meal. So I've got that tomorrow afternoon, and that will probably affect my mood one way or the other, good or bad or ambivalent. Who cares? It's not anything that I can change, but I can change what I do from now on. So I'll be going into all of that on my own and with my husband to see, because unfortunately we do eat a good bit of processed foods, but fortunately I eat a lot better than I used to because of my husband being a chef. So I have actually had real food too, more than probably most of my life, since Mom stopped cooking for me, and that was pretty much marginal at best anyway. So what I want to do today is, I am still looking at Days of General Restlessness, the soap. I don't know if it will start Wednesday with everything going on, but I am ready to get it going. I've done a lot of editing on it, so that's not going to be a long process, but I need to basically just do the practicing of the reading for it, and on Fridays, every other Fridays, morning serial, which will be beginning with Slumber Guard, which is a 4-part tale, kind of like a mini-series, and I am going to move around to some of the different stories and then come back to part 2 of Slumber Guard, kind of like, ooh, gotta wait for the next movie to come out. That way also, if you just don't particularly care for science fiction, or those people or tales, then you can just wait, to the next one. Start a first story of a different series, or one of the standalone stories. Who knows? But we'll get to that when we get to that. But it's coming. The stories are coming this week or next week. I swear to nothing, because I can't really swear. I swear, but not in that regard, because I like to hedge my bets. I don't want to. It's maybe, and everything like that is is always included. So first of all, let me let you know I went onto my WordPress blog for the first time in a while because I wanted to kind of give you the overviews that I wrote on the stories that I do. Now, I'm also going to give you the web address for the printed out stories. All the little letters that are put in order and making up little words and spaces to fill sentences and paragraphs and even building into an entire story. But you got to read them with your eyes. So, you can look at, if you want, kind of, you'll get a good overview of all of my little sections of stories, because I've got the Slumber Guard series, of course. That's 4. Charming Deviltries, which is the pseudo-gay heart-to-heart on Dean Koontz's brain. That's just how I love. Dean Koontz is one of my favorite authors of all time. Really, always. Just, I think Agatha Christie, Dean Koontz, Anne Rice, Stephen King kind of gets in there. There's a lot of, there's so many good writers. Oh my God, I hate to narrow it down because I don't want to leave anybody out, because they're just, oh my God, so many wonderful, writers. Things that I never even thought I would like the, damn it, Not Catching Fire, Not Mockingjay. What was the first one? Oh, Hunger Games, that's it. I was really shocked at that, how much I enjoyed it, and really, really did. And I thank Jennifer Lawrence for that, because I adore her. And when I saw her in Winter's Bone, I just was like, yeah, this is somebody to watch. And I did. I continue to watch. She's just astounding. I think so as a person too, but I don't know her, so I just go by what I do. And I'm not one of those either that looks at the whatever the fuck the tabloids are saying, and I include tabloids as pretty much everybody, because unless it's the person speaking, because we'll just continue on with Jennifer Lawrence as an example. Remember back in the day, Inquirer was like the big tabloid. Of course, we had News of the World and stuff like that with the Bat Child and crap like that, and Jesus and the Toast, and they were ridiculous, and I cannot believe that people still, that's one of the things that really kind of got me to lose some respect for Wendy Williams, was when she started centering her gossip stories and days on publications. Like, she'd have people actually from the Inquirer come over, and I may be surprised, but I defy anybody to ever show me an article out of the Inquirer that has ever been true. I don't know why. We have a president the same way, but for how many decades, has this little rag been putting out bullshit, and people still just eat it up. And I'm like, why are you so stupid? And it really was sad. I remember when People was a real magazine. It was I can remember buying the issue when Olivia Newton-John got married, and it had pictures, and Madonna, of course, Sean Penn with the helicopters blowing everything everywhere. But those of, that Us magazine, they have turned, and they're just as bad. And then you've got Entertainment Tonight, the whole E network, it's all crap. And I refuse to believe. Now, this is getting a little off topic, I know, and this should go in the after show, a bit of shush, please, but I'll get to that in a minute, how that is going to be evolving and growing, as well as fake fiction. But I'll get to that in a second. Oh, I gotta stretch my leg out. I gotta sit differently in here right now, but I'm in the studio. So, I've gotten to the point where if I don't hear on television, of course, or see an actual celebrity or notable person say whatever it is, I won't believe it until I hear or see them say it, because I refuse to believe TMZ, ET, Access Hollywood, E! News. I refuse to believe that every single one of them happens to have a secret source, always secret, of course, with absolutely anybody. Anything that happens, well, secret source told me, or I know somebody in their camp, and yeah, right, yeah, somebody that's connected to every fucking celebrity. You're just such a fucking. I almost said it again. I got to get out of that habit because I really don't want to offend anybody. It was, unlike certain words that are still ridiculously being defended as it was a different time. Well, it was a different time. This, a word that I use a lot too, but the word was not the same either. The word has evolved. This other, word is still the same as it was. So the different time, you can't say that because it's still the same fucking word being very derogatory against, a certain race or group of people. But, we just used it to denote anybody who was, really, really stupid. Because I've always called somebody who was really, actually handicapped in some way of, handicapped, mentally handicapped or challenged or something like that. I think it sounds better, for one thing, because they're not less of people. And so I, always reserved the R word for the on purpose stupid people. Okay. What was it? Oh, God. Okay, so everybody in the camp, it was everybody there, and so yeah, I don't watch those at all or listen to those people talk because this will be okay. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that because I can't remember what I was saying. But the Charming Devil Trees, yes, you'll see the Slumber Guard on the website under menu, and then there's Charming Devil Trees, which is my partner and I, the pseudo gay kind of heart on. Oh, maybe that's how I got on that. Talking about authors, I could go on and on about that. It's a different subject, but there is, of course, the Witch of Nothing preambles, which are my Witch of Nothing stories, and they're kind of fantasy, but they're very different. Xanadu Supernova Experience, which I neglected to explain, was a young girl from the future whose father brings her back to Earth in the past, or past to them, present to us, and well, actually slightly past because it was around the Olympics time here in Atlanta, and he dies saving the Earth and leaves her to travel on her own and out of time and space, or not space, out of time from where she's from. Then I think she's 16 when it starts. And so it's kind of her story. They're short stories, so they'll be definitely one episode to one story each. My individual stories, so standalone stories, I've got under the moniker of Sandwiches. Yes, SAMMICHES, Sandwiches, for the individual ones, and I've got to add some to those. I can see that now. But as far as going back to Slumber Guard, I was going to let you know that it started as a leg stretching after grieving a loss. Wrote it differently than I'm used to, and I totally loved it. I think that was where I really did not outline hardly anything. Kind of like beginning, end, tiny bit what I wanted to happen around the middle-ish, and then I just wrote it and let it happen. I totally loved it too. At the end of the first one, I thought that, there could be more. I never expected it, to be more when I was writing it until I finished it. And then a friend of mine, probably Rena, asked me if I was going to do more, and that kind of solidified that for me, that I would continue on with it and just, clinch the deal. And when I was, when I knew who was going to wake up from the slumber in the second one, that's when the plot of the robot war was implemented, and there would be a third story, actually. And then by the time I started the third, I thought it might be too long, I moved the end to the beginning of a fourth story, which enabled me to create a closure at the end. That was, in Slumber Guard. But the first one coming up, maybe this Friday, we'll see, because this one has had a lot of editing done to it, so really I just have to practice the reading again. Jeremy wakes from a long, deep sleep with a fuzzy memory. At some point, he must have signed up for the slumber program. Memory or not, he found it hard to believe he had agreed to sleep for 1 million years. And that's going to be, coming for that. But my site with the, old-fashioned type reading is my name, Sheridan Lowe. No, wait a minute. Ooh, I changed it. Okay. That'll come into what's going to be coming on Fake Fiction. I began using my name, Sheridan Lowe, but with my middle initial D in the middle. So it's Sheridan D. Lowe at SheridanDLowe.com. And that's where you find my WordPress for my stories. And then I am adding another I'll connect the blog site for these. But this is crazy. I did not know podcasts were like this. They're like, well, you put it on one thing and it goes everywhere. Because this is on iTunes. It's on YouTube. I like the YouTube one. I like the iTunes one too, but I'm getting most of my audience from YouTube so far. And I get to pick the picture that's on the screen, when you're playing it, the video. Spotify, and then the Transistor, where I actually create it, which I'm really liking. I like Transistor because it's, even though I was new to it, I was able to pick it up pretty easily. A couple things I had to really think about how to do it, but I'm enjoying how I don't have to go around everywhere. And they suggest you have 3 episodes before you put it on iTunes, so that it's when this Fake Fiction went on to it. And I am keeping the 3. Just I'm not going to keep on adding podcast after podcast. Now NPR, I love the NPR. I've always listened to them, and they have quite a few. But they got a lot. They got a lot of people. They got a lot of shit to talk about. A lot of topics. So they can handle it. I can't probably handle more than the 3. But I'm expanding 2 of them because of, well, you'll find out in a minute. Where did I leave off? I'll be posting. Yeah, I'll be posting these on my on a blog. I might just actually embed them onto the site that I just mentioned, actually, because it's getting ridiculous to have. You can go here for this site, and this site for that site, and that site for this site. And I did neglect last time to mention that the after show, Bit of Shush Please, would be episode 0 that you would be looking for. But I'm going to do that from now on, is to make sure that, because you'll see, both of them, Fake Fiction and Bit of Shush Please, are growing. Bit of Shush Please a little bit more so in amount or number of podcasts, because they are, probably going to stay a little shorter. And then Fake Fiction is going to be expanding a little bit, but it'll be a longer length, probably just a second one. Now, I've got the doctor tomorrow, and working on both Days of General Restless and Slumber Guard, see who wins the race as to getting posted first. Oh, I can hardly wait. I hope. I haven't got a single goddamn comment, but I don't care. I'm just, waiting for people to. I'm just glad people are listening. That, I do, of course, like to hear how wonderful it is, because it is. I promise you're gonna love it. I'm no James Joyce. I'm no William Faulkner. I'm definitely not a Hemingway, but I think my imagination is just ridiculous. I don't understand where some of it comes from sometimes, and I get that a lot too. I don't know where to get these ideas. Again, the whole. I'm going to cover that in a minute, okay? Because I've already talked about that once, but it's going to come up with the after show, actually. And okay, so what I've done is I was on Second Life. Now I've been off and on Second Life for 5.5 years or so, and I really enjoy it at times, and at times can be infuriating because I play a female character. I mean, I didn't get to have Barbies. I had the Princess Leia action figure, tall, big one, but I was never allowed to have Barbie. Although my grandmother bought me the Wonder Woman doll. Not Barbie. It wasn't out. It was actual, Wonder Woman from the original season of it, the first season, where she had the little naval uniform from the war and stuff. And then, of course, after a few baths, her hair became just like Rosanna Dana, and the eagle on her chest began to rub off. So it was like, she had become some kind of cracked out stripper. But recently I came back because there's been a lot of things going on. I can get into that even more so later, but some of the past 6 or so years of losses and degrading of my interests, that I kept going to things that would distract me, and I did not think writing could distract me, so I would go back to Second Life because total time suck. Oh my God, it's just like get lost, and suddenly it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and but it's frustrating too because of the men who, there's so many men about, all they want is sex, and it's the exact opposite of why I'm on there, and it doesn't help that, I've had a lot of help, and I've got a good eye for creating, and I'm pretty much right up there with, if not the best, one of the best looking avatars wherever I go. And, surrounding myself with others like that, is good too. But, if I'm running around on my own, I'm at the beach or shopping or something, I get a lot of comments. But the guys on the beach are just ridiculous because it's just, within 3 or 4 questions, oh, this place has got such a lag, I know a nice, quiet place you want to go. In fact, last night, kind of on there, I was at the beach, and the guy, he said, I swear to God, the second thing was, man, there's a lot of lag here, isn't there? And I laughed, and I said, yeah. I said, but it's always that way. And I think his avatar was older than me, so he knew that too. And I totally embarrassed him. I called him out because I laughed and said, yeah, that's usually what the guys here say when they're about to ask if, I want to go somewhere quiet. And he goes, oh, I was totally going to say that. I said, imagine that. And then he disappeared. They're like scammers. It's like, you're all using the same fucking scam. Do you not realize that? That I've heard 100,000 times? So I came off of Second Life because, well, money is part of it. But I did pretty good the last few weeks on it because I didn't spend as much as I had in the past. But time too, because I was battling between this and Second Life, and finally came to the conclusion that this is a lot more productive and a lot more fun and a lot more satisfying. So I pulled out of Second Life today of the land that I was renting and stuff, and now I'm going to be able to devote more time. So that is why I'm saying, this week or next week, it's coming. The stories are coming, but I'm not going to stop the fake fiction and the bit of shush please in the meantime. Okay. Now, I've got my doctor. Talked about the bad food. I'm going to be tweaking some things. I'm still tweaking because if I waited to tweak everything the way I wanted it or needed it, I probably never would post anything. You wouldn't have even heard any of this. But I've been more so lately, about nothing needs to be perfect because nothing is perfect. So it was easier for me to put it out there, and I already have these episodes, 9-10 episodes, I think, collectively to 8, I think, to then work on and improve as I go. Because if you need perfection, then you need to go somewhere else. And I have the production value of some of these wonderful podcasts, but I don't think that really matters. I mean, I've got some that I listen to that are just somebody talking like this. And, like David Hughes, or there's what's her name? Comedian. Oh, let me look. I forgot I've got this. I've got actually two devices here. What is her name is, I haven't started Dream Boy yet. That looks good. Mall Talk looks good. I love Kevin McDonald. Mental Illness Happy Hour looks good. Come on, where is she? Oh, the RuPaul. I like RuPaul, and I like Michelle, and I like the format of that they use with their podcast. It's a long show, but I love them both. Here she is, Amanda Seales, Small Doses. I listened to her, and I'm like, I like her. She sounds like kind of like what I'm doing, except she's better at it right now. With her little sound effects and whatever, and I kind of got that echo idea from her, but then I saw a picture of her, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember her from Twitter. Oh my God. I think it was Twitter, and I think she's in some commercials. I don't remember totally, but I love her. And, so then I haven't listened to Scott Sigler's free audiobooks, but that's kind of, a mixture of what I'm trying to do. David Hughes, I think I mentioned. I got a lot of, I forgot I added Jeselnik and Rosenthal. I don't know Rosenthal. I like Anthony Jeselnik and this rugged lumberjack kind of thing he's got going on right now. Anyway, off of those. The addition to fake fiction's coming. I have decided that, under the moniker of fake fiction, I keep using moniker, I need to find another word. There is going to be probably a weekend edition or weekend report where I go on about, again, fake. I love, the fake fiction because of the whole, fake news thing started by the fake president. No letters, please. I like people write letters. But I've been wanting to do something for a while. I just haven't had a way to do it. And there are issues that have arisen that are really being talked about. For instance, there was the Me Too movement that began. So many things that have really shouldn't even have to be addressed. They really shouldn't. And especially in 2019, it's like, how are we still at this stunted, place in our growth as human beings? It's just mind-boggling, and I hope. Well, that's Rena. Hi, Rena. That's my first guest. Tooting in, saying hi. Told her I was going to be back in the closet. And so I need a platform because I've been having to stay silent about something. And now that it's really coming out in the news, especially in this area where I am, I feel like I can add something that can do some good. We've got a lot of problems going on, and we've got a lot of problems that have been going on for a long time without even being noticed or mentioned. We've got a lot of problems that have been going along for a long time, being hidden by people in authority or people turning the other way. I mean, the whole Southern Baptist Church thing, this should be no surprise to anybody. If you honestly believe that just because you're in a church, everybody there is doing good, you are a fool. That's being a fool for God. Because, look, see, the whole priest thing has kind of run its course, because now, it's like, it's accepted now, that, not accepted, but accepted that it's true. People could, I'm sure there are people still turning their heads, but, now it's like, hey, it's just not the Catholics anymore. Pedophilia is not just for Catholics anymore, but they, hopefully, I want, I hope people aren't that are exposed. And even if they aren't, I hope a stop is put to it. That's really, but, and so there's an issue, and there's human trafficking and drugs and things like that going on, and especially in, this areas of Atlanta. And I'm going to talk about it because I've had my own encounters, and I have been online for years. Oh God, well, since before there was an internet, really, but that was friends on what we used to call bulletin board system, and where you had to use your three-way calling to get somebody else, and then somebody else had to use their three-way calling to get somebody else in, and then you get on this computer bulletin board system all at the same time, and you're typing out on this little tiny 128K computer, and it takes 18 times as long to actually have a phone conversation. But those were the simple times. And I swear to God, actually my first computer was 32K. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I've been on there and I've seen a lot, and I don't just go places. I don't just go online, and I don't just go to airports, and we used to go watch people coming in and out and play cards at the lounge and watch people. Human nature's just fascinating. But if you actually pay attention, after time passes, your knowledge accumulates, and you begin to notice patterns in other groups of people that it's obvious they are involved in the same thing, or they are the same type of person as that person because of the way they approach things, the way they talk. And it could cover a myriad of ideas, whether it's religious or just being human, or prejudice or greed, or being a criminal. And I think that there are still so many people who are like I was talking about the scams, same scams, and they're still falling for them because there are still people who don't really know for some reason, or I don't know why they don't know, but they have gotten a little better at what they do, but in essence they're still stupid because they're pandering to the dumb. I'm sorry, people, but I should say naive and ignorant, because those are different than dumb. And the naive and the ignorant may not just realize that these are scams, or these are bad people. And because it's like the IRS thing. If nobody knew that these were scams, people calling from the IRS wanting money or whatever, or people calling from a recorded call from a police station saying, there's a warrant out for your arrest, please, this or that, or whatever. It's like, first of all you have to do is say, okay, IRS, okay, I'm going to hang up the phone, and I'm going to call the IRS at the phone number I have, and instead of giving you money. Or if somebody calls in and says, I want to take over your computer, don't do it. Especially, even if they say, this from Microsoft, I could say, hi, I'm calling from the White House. I need all of your personal information, please, for our records. There are going to be stupid people. That's beyond naive and ignorant. There are going to be stupid people who actually do it. But if you sit back and think, logically, it's just ridiculous. But they try the same thing over and over and over and over again. I'm like, get a new script, put half of that attention into a real job, and you could probably make some real money. So I'm going to go over some things on my weekend report. I don't know if I'm going to call it fake fiction lessons or fake fiction dangers or whatever. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet, but there are a lot of things to look out for and be in danger of, and there's a lot of people that don't know, and there's also a lot of people that don't believe some things, and I don't care about that. But if I can in any way be a part of the movement to protect these people that basically are helpless or targets, even one person, then I will have considered it a job well done. And I already have. But I mean, it's all coming out. I'm not going to go into too many details about my own personal experience, even though I've got some protections set up for myself. Different types of evidence and names and contacts and photographs and all sorts of things that are, and I mean good evidence too. Like prints and DNA type stuff. I mean, come on, Law and Order 101 should tell you not to do certain things. But, I've got some safeguards in place because, if you come after me again, guess what? You got a bunch of shit that's going to be coming your way. But I think some of it's already, happening. I mean, like we have, I don't know if you've heard in the Atlanta area, there is an attorney or lawyer on the run. Yeah, I recognize him. But that's all, going to come out with that. It won't be as lighthearted. I'll try to make it, so it's not depressing. But I really want it to be more informative and protective of the innocent. Because, not enough people have done it so far. And I have, ever since I've been attacked, I've been trying to find a way. Because I'm not after money from anybody. Whether it's the venue they used or the persons themselves. Because that's, that's just not what I want. I could not get into Law and Order SVU for a long time, for years, because that is one of the strongest things that just turn my stomach and just make me disgusted, and is a violation. Basically, I'll say, well, I mean, it can be, very, mental damage and bad stimulation, but if somebody's violated and they're a child, a woman who is, women have just been in no place to defend themselves for thousands of years. I think there are probably still places in the United States where it's actually not illegal to rape your wife. But anyway, all of these is a subject that I don't like at all. It sickens me physically. I really feel, I don't know if I'm empathetic. I think I am. And that comes into play with the whole hatred of it. But when I was in jail for 10 days after DUI, I watched a lot of Law and Order SVU because that and the local news was all we were allowed to watch. And I came to appreciate it greatly because of the satisfaction of the comeuppance that the bad person would get, and knowing throughout the episode that 9 times out of 10 it was going to end with conviction or death. And so I came to appreciate it a lot, and I think that there probably are a lot of people, since they take some things from the headlines that people have been able to find helpful in their own lives, when they say, wait a minute, I saw this on that TV show, or maybe they'll say one day, that guy on that podcast said something about this, didn't he? So, we'll see. We'll see. It's, like I said, I'm not going to be very specific about my own experience, maybe a little bit, but I am going to definitely bring up, there, Rena. Yes, I'm still here, Rena. But it's like you don't have to tell your story in order to tell somebody that the bridge is out. You want to say, well, oh my God, that bridge was out one time and I almost died. You can just say that bridge is out. Watch out. Or that sign means the bridge is out. If it's got a strange symbol on it, you don't know what it means. And that's why I think people should learn English when they come to America, not to speak as a main language. I don't care what you speak, if we can communicate. But why wouldn't you want to communicate with people where you go? Why wouldn't you want to communicate with a possible employer or customer or policeman or store clerk or whatever? Because if you're driving down the road and there's a sign that says bridge out ahead and you can't read it, it was for your safety. I don't say people have to come to America and only speak English. That's ridiculous. But I would not move to France and expect everybody to speak English to me. I would be learning. I'd start learning before I went for my own safety, for knowledge. What if an ambulance comes, your medical alert tag has fallen off or something, and you're diabetic or you're in anaphylactic shock? How can you convey that information? It's safe, it's a safety thing, not a conversion thing. You got to assimilate, but you kind of need to assimilate slightly in order to function. So that's the vein that I'd like to use a platform with fake fiction, because it is going to be fake fiction, because this is real stuff, real shit going on, real shit happening, real shit has happened, and I think everybody should know about it, or more than already know about it. And then, I just let somebody else take care of the actual people themselves, and who's to blame and whatever. I just, want to bring about some information. Okay, almost done here, because another 45-minute episode. So I'm going to be tweaking some things like an episode number, so that, like with the bit of shush please, I can say, okay, now go over to episode 3 or whatever of bit of shush please, because of what I'm going to be adding with bit of shush please. Now it's probably going to grow more than fake fiction will probably have 2. This one on Mondays that I talk about the stories and a little bit of shit, not as much as this, but and then the fake fiction weekend, or fake fiction, whatever I call it, where I kind of use a platform to educate some people. That's what I'm after, educating people. I'm not, trying to be a bounty hunter. I just, think other people should be aware. Cautionary tales. That's it. Cautionary tales. Ooh, fake cautionary tales. We'll think about it. All right, and I think, yeah, okay, we are done with the fake fiction for today. I will see you in a minute on episode 1 of Bit of Shush Please, where I will discuss the expanding of that certain episode or podcast, and then one more. I'll be able to slide it over to iTunes. It's already on. Bit of Shush Please is already on Transistor, Spotify, and YouTube. My YouTube channel of Clumsy Hippo Studios. So look for those. And I will see you in a few minutes and later in the week. I'm very pleased with myself. I wasn't going to do anything today. See you in a few.